Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks for watching, coming back, tuning in, whatever you call it. I don't even know anymore, but I appreciate it very much. So I got a tutorial video because, let's see, I did a Black Friday video and then I did a vlog. I haven't done a tutorial video in a while, and it's because I was gone. I mentioned that in, I think in my Black Friday video. Anyway, I was gone for a couple of weeks. I didn't really have a chance to record stuff other than some content like for that vlog video. And if you missed that, it's whatever, you can find the link. It's one video back. How about that? So what I'm going to do today is take one of my photos that I captured in that Japanese garden that was featured in the vlog, and I turned it in. In fact, this photo was in that video. Let me just show you the photo. So here's the photo, right? So I made kind of a fantasy fall look. That's what the photo started life looking like. And the truth is, I was just taken with this tree. I love any kind of photo that has like a meandering path or road. I just like visually being drawn into a photo that way. And I'm not just talking about the photos I take, even when I see photos like on Flickr, Facebook, places like that, when they have kind of road shots or paths, it's just interesting, right? You just want to go walking down it. So I kind of try to capture that here, but I also love that tree, which I called a weeping willow in the video. I have no idea. I don't have trees like that in Texas. I don't have gardens like this in Texas. I was kind of fired up. So if you missed that vlog, go check it out. But anyway, that's the photo I started with, and that's what I turned it into, creating kind of a fantasy fall look. I changed some colors around. It's had a lot of fun. Let me show you how I did it. Okay, so here's the base photo with the raw develop filter. This is a raw file that I was working with, so I can't turn that filter off, as you probably know. There's what it looked like before the raw develop filter adjustments, and there it is after. It's a little crunchier and slightly different temperature intent. So I did that. I added some contrast, took down the highlights, bumped up the shadows and the whites a little bit, and bumped up the clarity. Pretty simple stuff. I don't really usually go crazy with the develop filter. I go crazy with other filters. So next up was saturation and vibrance. I almost called it violence. Again, I did that like a year ago, and everybody got a laugh out of that. I get talking and I get all excited about the photos and the editing, which I just love to do, as you know, and I just, call things the wrong stuff. Anyway, saturation and vibrance, a little bit of bump in a little bit, 34, so, a fair amount of bump in vibrance. I didn't add saturation. Let me show you the before and after. Before, after, the vibrance gives it a little bit of kick. It seems to basically bump up the kind of the non-dominant colors, whereas saturation just jumps all of them up, and I didn't want to do that. I'm going to get to that next, right? So color balance is next. God, I feel like I talk about this filter all the time, but it's so freaking cool. Here we go. So actually, hang on. Yeah, all right. So what I did here is I bumped a little bit of the yellow and blue in the midtones, and in the highlights I did a little bit of adjustment there. It's not a major adjustment really. So there's the before, and there's the after. I don't know how well you can tell in the video. It's actually kind of subtle. I get into some bigger color shifts down in HSL, so I'll do that in a minute. Accent AI was next, a little bit of brightness around the whole thing. At this point, I was kind of thinking, I want to create a little bit of a fantasy look, kind of create some moodiness and some drama, maybe. Not drama in the sense of details, like there's a dramatic filter that kind of, cranks up a little bit of detail, it feels like. I don't really use that filter a lot. But I like the kind of the Orton effect and the image radiance to create sort of mood is probably a better word than drama. So Orton effect here, and I went with type 2. It's the lighter of the two. There's type 1, kind of darker, and I went with type 2. It softens up some of the details, creates a little bit of glow. For me, it softens up the photo and helps to create a little bit of that mood. And then I came in with image radiance, and it creates a little bit of shadow as well and a little bit of mood there. And in fact, I moved the shadows up because it would have made them a little bit darker. Also added some warmth. I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to do. So at this point, you can kind of see like the difference between the original photo and the current photo is substantial, but not, oh my God, so different. Okay, so next up is kind of the bigger shift, and that's in HSL. And that's because I wanted to create more of a fall look and really change the hue of some of these colors. And so that's what I did. If you look at that before, more greenish kind of yellow, and after more orangey kind of yellow. And that's really just a hue shift. I just came in here to the orange, the yellow, and the green, and I just took the hues to the left, right? So basically taking them away from the color that they are, shifting them more to the orangey yellow kind of look. And that's a way you can take a very green photo and create more of a fall kind of orangey yellow look to it. And that's basically what I did here. I don't believe I touched saturation or luminance. No, I didn't. So just that hue shift alone created a really, to me, visually a big difference in the photo. You can kind of see the before and the after. Now, one thing you're probably noticing is the green that's left, like in this bush and in this grass, is basically super neon. And so I took care of that in the next filter, right? With the grass. I left the bush. It's not that visually overwhelming to me, but if you look at that green, to me, that's just like toxic neon green, nuclear almost. So what I did is I went into hue and I took the green a little bit to the left, but I also went to luminance and went to the left with it as well. I basically just changed the hue and then darkened it a little bit, and that got me to this current state. Next was golden hour, and this was just a bump across the entire photo, which I wouldn't normally do that. To me, golden hour is a filter I normally use on like a sunset or sunrise, where you have that kind of dominant color and you're trying to pop it. But I went with it here. It just gives a nice little bit of bump to those warmer tones, which is kind of what it does. But I took the saturation down because, again, I don't want to make it overly dominant. At this point, I've got two filters left, right? I went with a negative saturation in the bench and the path. And if you look at that, let me show you before. It basically took on kind of a pinker kind of hue from some of the filters I'd used prior. And so I went back and I just reduced the saturation and then I just painted that in. So here's the mask I can show you. That's just on the, well, I missed a little bit there, didn't I? So I'll just paint that in. Basically, I'm just painting that saturation reduction on the gravel and on the bench because I don't really want it to be pink. And it was picking up that pink hue. And then the last thing was really a vignette. And so that was just tightening up sort of the focus or the focal area of the photo. So I took the amount down. Size wasn't a big difference. I changed the roundness to more of a rectangle, and then I added some inner light. So before and after just gives a little bit of pop. And then I went and added one more layer, and that was a clone and stamp layer. And if you look down here, I just changed that shadow that's falling, part of which is me falling on the path. And so let me show you the before. Let me turn that off. If you look over here, I think that's my head right there. And this, I think, is a tree or something behind me. But to me, it was a little bit visually distracting. I want that path to be clear, so it just looks like it's something you want to walk into. I did not mess with the shadows over here. They didn't really bother me visually, but these two did. So I just did clone and stamp, and that was the after, right? So clone and stamp allows you to just basically copy one part of the photo and paint it into another. I've got a video tutorial about that I'll put up in that corner, but it's super easy to use, and that got me really to my final result. So there's the before and the after. It's basically a fantasy fall look, and there's a full before, single exposure, after, and that's how it works. It's super easy, just a number of filters. It was really for me a little bit of experimenting to get the colors and the mood just right, but that's basically what I landed on and how I got it done, and I hope you like it. If you have any questions, by all means, or comments, feedback, that kind of stuff, I love to interact with you guys. Feel free to leave a comment below. And that's it for today, my friends. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. See you soon, and adios.